Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. As I say, depending on where you are, one of these greeting formulas will apply to you. This video is for everyone, but specifically also for Andy that purchased an insert for a watch. This is the ring and the insert. And the way what he experienced is that the insert sits a little deeper and he likes to raise it up. Now, there's a trick you can do. You can certainly use it. There put down was glue rings. Glue rings are these little things. Don't use anything else but a professional glue ring to put an insert. You regret it very quickly, especially if you get your watch wet. I mean, anyway, buy a decent glue ring and mount it that way. But I'm gonna start with the trick first, because this is what this is all about. I'm not sure if you can see this, but here is actually a little gap, since this needs to be raised up, and I did that here, so you see how flush that mounts, and it's in there very solid. I mean, you can't have Goliath pull on it, but nobody ever does that. It holds up to the typical, and the way you do that, I'm gonna show you on a different. Since I did this already, and I think you can tell. That's what you want to achieve. Clearly, you have to take your ring back off the watch if you don't have it already off, and you if it's not empty, then you have to empty it off the insert. You have to remove that. How do you remove an insert is actually not that difficult. One of the most important things to know is you use heat. So what you can do is these ones are very they can get extremely hot. So you take a little plate on your cooking oven stove, you put it on heat, and you lay that there until you really can't touch it good anymore. That softens the adhesive up so much that typically was if you put, you know, a wooden peg, something like that. I usually make them. I cut them like this. This is a bit old, but even better, to a more of a point, and then put that in there. Without burning my hands, and I twist it a little bit. It lifts up very easily because that heat makes that adhesive so very soft. So there's a little bit of a know-how how to remove them. I get them out without. I have removed a lot of these, but even if you just start, you get them that way out very easily, and without damage, if you sensitive enough to the material. You could also use boiling water to heat this up, maybe from this side, as long as the adhesive, that stuff here, gets hot and therefore kind of gooey and loose. Especially if a bezel insert is just glued in for the last few weeks or days, they come out even easier. But let me show you. I have prepared this. You create, to lift this up out of a adhesive ring. That's what that was before I stretched it out, or you clip it open, and then that's what you get. You can imagine. You twist it like so. That gives you a sausage looking thing. You could also, if you need even more of a sausage, double this up and then twist. Well, might as well do it. And it's a very tacky, very glue. It's the glue ring, the right adhesive. They get a good sausage here. Now I have prepared this. You then take that sausage and put it along the edge, right in there. It's kind of hard to do on the video. I was looking at the video and through. So anyway, so then it looks like this, and this would be the fitting insert on this one. If I would now glue that in, which I don't, but you can see it would sit proud. I mean, we don't want that. But if you work with an insert that from the get-go sits too deep, then it will raise it up. This raises this up, but we end up, you know, proud of it. That's not what we want. And the adhesive will not actually be ugly, because due to the fact that these are very precise, it will just sit down there. See, it already starts sticking. If I have this all around it, then it's raised up. So in other words, that's what I did here to raise this. If I want it raised, I mean, for my aesthetics, a little bit in there is not a problem, but if it is, then that's how you can raise this one, and it's not falling out or anything, but it's exactly lining up. But it's of course it's watch modifying, so you need your tweezers. That's how you raise or can raise a bezel. And you could also, if it's just a little bit, put adhesive rings on top of each other. But if you need to raise a little higher, you can make yourself one of those, as I showed you. And that seems to serve the purpose very well. You're still using the professional adhesive, and once the whole thing is put together, it looks as good as can be. I'll show you again, you know, how you put that sausage actually in the groove there. And I could take this out, but it is already, you know, this is a pretty sticky affair. So make sure you have a good adhesive ring. In this case, it can be any adhesive ring. It doesn't, because that's how you use it. Now I'm gonna show you in this video also for beginners how to attach an adhesive ring. In the very beginning, I'm going to take this out. It could be another video now, but it is not. In the very beginning, it is easier to actually take these adhesive rings and put them in here, because you don't have to be so centered and by your eye, you know. But how you do that is, I'm just gonna show you this on a paper ring. If I can possibly, well, you clip this open. Ideally with, you know, good clippers like this. Then let's just say this, you know, is an adhesive ring that I pulled off that paper, which now this is just a paper ring. Then even if the ring is not as precise fitting, you can you can end so then you start here, and you put it around and around. Even if it's a smaller ring, you will have a little bit of a give or take, and you may end up was actually, like in this case you would, was a gap like this. That is not a problem, because you have so much glue area that a little gap on some place, no problem. This still, you can still attach a bus and it will easy pull it. Haha. Anyway, it's easier to do it this way here. And then I have that down, and then if I would, with my tweezers, pull the protecting paper off, and I have my adhesive stuck here. I hope you can follow me. Now, when you are more experienced and apply many of these, then I do this like this, you know. I use my tweezers and I go like this. I'm gonna turn it around. I take my ring, and here with my fingers as a guide, I put it here, and now it's my eyes that center this like so. Then I'm gonna put my tweezers so they glide on the edge, because these things are sticky. I pull them out and I put this down and press this way, because if you press here, you can accidentally crack these bezels. They are ceramic, tough like nails, but out there to twisting is not so good. They crack. So I'm gonna rub that adhesive on there. I'll pick it back up, and now I'm just gonna go like this, and I have this very centered on here. Even if I'm a tiny bit off, once my paper is off, that tiny bit will be okay. It's not really getting in the way, but it has to be a tiny bit, and I mean like a tiny bit. So, but how do I get the glue this off? With my tweezers again. You know, you go in here and then it lifts up. See, the glue ring is on there, the adhesive, and this is my paper ring. Same paper ring I have here probably. So I'm gonna put this, because I don't need to use this right now, so I save that for when the project comes up. That's how you attach an adhesive ring onto the insert when you're experienced. If you're not experienced, then this is easier. Let's, you know, again pretend that this has adhesive on it. Then you get started and you move it, and in the outer edge, it's actually a very nice way of doing it. You get maybe have you have a little gap here that doesn't present a problem, but you get that nice and on the outer edge. Then, like I showed you earlier, with your tweezers, you can take the paper off. The adhesive will be here, and then you would, in this case, it should be a fit, yes, and it is, and it would be glued. But don't do this outside the gluing in, because if you do, you may not end up with the diamond at exactly in the middle. So you have to then put this on your watch first with your ratchet, and then you center this, and so that's how you do that. The main thing I want, and these beautiful sticky discs are, maybe you find good use for them. I don't know. You could glue your cup on the table. This is the main thing to show you. Was these how you could raise it, or if it is not a problem for you that it sits a little deeper. See, I raised this one, is on there, very, very, very good. I mean, you wouldn't expect it, but it is. And they have hardly any more glue surface anyway than this sausage, and you can create that sausage thicker or thinner, single, or you could, you know, even thicker. You can go like this, but of course it's ridiculous. You typically just need to raise a little bit, and this one fits naturally. It was a really thin. This one would recess a little bit. It was out this glue sausage, I call them, but here as you can see, that's what you would like. So it's a lengthy video, but it shows actually different techniques, and you might want to watch it twice, but that would solve your that would raise your insert. I must say this again, to me, if it is a little below this here, it doesn't bother me, but I can understand that it would some, and you know, this is of course done, and then it looks like that. That's what you want. So I hope this video can help you and not confuse you. So thank you very much for watching, and this is about the glue rings and the bezel inserts. Talk to you soon. Bye bye.